Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today we are talking about point slope form, and point slope form is yet another equation for representing linear equations. So we've already talked about slope intercept form, which was y equals mx plus b. So point slope form is going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, I know that I have already told you before that math people, we just are not the most creative people on this planet. And so when we name things, we generally name them after what it's representing. So like slope intercept form gave you the slope and the y-intercept. So point slope form represents a point on the line and the slope. So those are the two pieces of information that you need when you are writing this equation. Okay, so it's when you're given 1 point, and that 1 point is not the y-intercept. Because if it was the y-intercept, then we would just put it in slope intercept form. Okay, so when we're given 1 point that's not the y-intercept and the slope, we use point slope form. So if you have a highlighter or something that's handy, this is going to be extremely important, okay? And when we fill in this equation, it's also really important to note that the y, so there's like, you probably see 4 different y's and x's total. Well, the just y and x, not the y1 and the x1, but the y and the x, we don't fill those in, okay? Because those are going to represent all the infinite numbers of x's and y's that fall on the line, okay? So we know that m is the slope, okay? And then x1, y1 is going to be a very specific point on the line. Okay, so it's a very specific point on the line. Okay. And then I just want to point out that we'll look at these in a minute. We can also use this equation if we're not given the slope. We can find it first, because before we even started learning about these equations, like before we even learned about slope intercept form, the very first thing we learned was how to find slope if we were given 2 points. So if they give me 2 ordered pairs, I can find the slope from those 2 ordered pairs, and then I still have a slope and a point because I was given 2 ordered pairs, which are 2 points. Okay, so we'll look at that in just a second. So looking at this first example here, it says, write the equation of the line given that m is equal to -3. Remember, m means slope, and that passes through the point -1, 7 in slope intercept form. So again, just to break it down, I have m is equal to -3, and they gave me a point at -1, 7. So point slope. My equation, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I'm literally just going to take those pieces of information and plug them in to my equation. So y minus, here's x1 and y1. So y minus y1, which is 7, equals m, my slope, which was 3, times x minus x1, which is -1. Okay, so again, just to point it out, y1, m, x1, x1. Okay, so all I did there was plug stuff in. Okay, so then now it wants it in slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So essentially, we need to get the y by itself. We're going to need to distribute. Okay, so right here, double negative turns positive. So I'm going to distribute this -3. So this says y minus 7 equals -3x. -3 times 1 is -3. And then I can add the 7. So y equals -3x, and then -3 plus 7 is 4. Okay, and that is my slope-intercept form. All right. Next one says write the equation of a line that has a slope of 2/5. So my m is 2/5. It goes through the point 10, -8. Okay, so what I want you to do is, here's our formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I want you to plug that information into our point slope form. Go ahead. All right, so y, and if it helps, write down the information here. So y minus, and remember these are always minuses right there, y minus y1, which is -8, equals m, which is 2/5, times x minus x1, which is 10. So this double negative turned positive, so you should have had y plus 8 equals 2/5 times x minus 10. Okay. All right, so now we're going to put it into slope-intercept form again. Always pay attention to what form it wants, because sometimes it'll let you just leave it in point slope form. Okay. So now I'm going to distribute. So y plus 8, 2/5 times x is just 2/5 x. When I distribute here, 2 times -10 is -20. -20 divided by 5 is -4. Subtract 8. We have y equals 2/5 8, or 2/5 x, sorry, not 8, so that you read there. Y equals 2/5 x minus 12. All right, you guys are going to try the next one all on your own. So write the equation of the line that has a slope of -2 that passes through the point 3, -3 in slope-intercept form. Go ahead. Okay. So slope of -2, point is 3, -3. Here's my equation. Notice how I write this out every time. I kind of like take my information and I write it out to begin with. That just helps to get it out there so that it's not still in the sentence and it organizes it. Okay. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So then right here, it's double negative turned positive. Distribute the negative. So y plus 3 equals -2x plus 6. Subtract 3. And I get y equals -2x plus 3. Hopefully you guys got that. All right. Okay. You guys are going to try this one as well. And just to help you guys out, write the equation on the line that has a slope of -3/5 and that passes through the origin in slope-intercept form. Just to remind you, the origin is located at 0, 0. Go ahead. Okay. So my slope is -3/5. My ordered pair is 0, 0. There's my formula. Also, writing the formula is going to help you remember that formula if you just write it down a bunch of times. So hopefully you guys did this one. You're like, wow, that one was easy, because y minus 0 equals -3/5 times x minus 0. Well, y minus 0 is y. X minus 0 is x. So we just get y equals -3/5 x. All right. So now I told you that if we don't have the slope, we can still find the slope. And that's what we're going to look at right now. So this problem, we have 2 ordered pairs. Okay. So as a reminder, to find the slope, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or the change in y over the change of x, however you want to find it, okay? So you can label your ordered pairs, so x1, y1, x2, y2. So your first step would be to find slope, okay? Because in order to use point-slope form, you have to find the slope, right? So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 1 minus 3 is -2. 2 minus -2, that's a double negative, so I turn it positive. 2 plus 2 is 4, so my slope, when I reduce that, a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 2 over 4 is 1/2. Okay. So then step 2, I have my slope is -1/2, and then I just pick one of those points. It doesn't matter which point you pick. So normally when we were doing slope-intercept form, we wanted to pick the one that was the y-intercept. Well, neither of those are the y-intercept. What I like to do is if one of them doesn't have any negatives, that's the one that I pick, because then I don't have to deal with any double negatives. But if you have both of them that have negatives, then you just pick, like, if you have a favorite number or anything like that. Otherwise, it doesn't matter, because both of those points are on the line, so they both are going to give you the exact same equation. So it really doesn't matter. So now I have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus 1 equals -1/2 times x minus 2. So y minus 1 equals, distributing, -1/2 x. A negative times a negative is a positive. And then half of 2 is 1. That also could be a reason why you choose an ordered pair over another, is if it's a fraction and like this x had been 3, taking half of 3 isn't as nice as taking half of 2. So you can always look at the ordered pairs that way as well. And then from there, I add 1, and so I get y equals -1/2 x plus 2. Okay. All right. You guys are going to try the next one. Make sure you're going to do both, kind of like I did here. So here was it in point slope form. Okay, so this was point slope form. And then this is slope intercept form. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing down here. Write the equation of a line going through 4, -5, and 2, -1 in point slope form and in slope intercept form. Go ahead. Okay, so we know the first thing that we need to do is find the slope. So I'm going to write x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. -1 minus -5. Double negative there, so that's what, 4. 2 minus 4 is -2. Positive divided by negative is a negative. 4 divided by 2 is -2. So then step 2, my slope is -2. Neither of those ordered pairs are all positive, so it doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use the second one because it's smaller numbers. Sometimes that's why I use it, because it's smaller numbers. But if you use the first one, you will see that you'll get the exact same equation. So my equation, my formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus -1 equals -2 times x minus 2. Double negative. Distribute y plus 1. So, which, by the way, here's our point slope form. Distribute here, so that's -2x plus 4. Subtract 1. And I get y equals -2x plus 3. And you'll notice that if right here in your point slope form, the other one that you could have gotten would have been y plus 5 equals -2 times x minus 4. You would have gotten this same exact equation. Okay. All right, the last thing that we're going to look at is, it says complete the following equation based on a line going through -4, 2 and 8, -2. Okay, so it already filled in part of it. So we need the slope and the other part of the equation. So first, let's find our slope. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. -2 and -2 is -4. 8 minus -4, double negative. That's 12. Negative divided by positive is a negative. 4 over 12 reduces to 1/3. Okay, so now I know my slope is -1/3. And then I know that this is going to be x minus something. So now we just have to figure out what ordered pair this is going to be. So it says y minus 2. Now remember, on this, it would be y minus y1, right? So it's already y minus. So we have a 2 and we have a -2 here. So which of the ordered pairs would it have to be in order for it to stay a minus sign? And hopefully you said it would have to be the first one, because that is just a regular 2. Because if it had been a -2, this would have been a double negative, and this would have become a +2, right? So now we know that the x is negative 4. And so our equation is y minus 2 equals negative 1/3 times x plus 4. Okay. All right. You guys are going to try to do the same thing for the second one. Okay. So complete the following equation based on a line going through 5, negative 3, and 1, negative 5. And it starts with y plus 5. Go ahead. All right, so let's check it. So this one was a little bit different. Hopefully it was actually maybe a little bit easier. We'll see. So slope first, x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I've never seen so many double negatives in my life as on this notes. So plus plus there, negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. And negative divided by negative is a positive. 2 over 4 is 1/2. So my slope is 1/2. So here I have y plus 5. So the y value has to be a 5. Which ordered pair, first of all, has a y value of 5? Had to be the right one, right? And that would be y minus negative 5. So the left one, the x value was a 5, so that wouldn't have even worked. So then this would be x minus the x value of 1. So you should have had y plus 5 equals 1/2 times x minus 1. All right, that is it for point slope form for now. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me, or academic support, or any of those things. We'll see you soon.